Welcome to Las Películas Sábados Gigantes at the Cinemarijuana Theatre. That's right. The shitlords of cinematic scrutiny. Starting a brand new round here for Filmstain.com. We're starting our free-for-all round of films. We just concluded our recent run of Cinema Underglass. Animal Antagonist, thank goodness. It's in the books. And now we're moving on to a
free-for-all round where it's a themeless theme where people can pick any kind of movie. Doesn't matter. Just show what you like.
Correct. And so...
The Animal Antagonist theme was so bad that my vet school girlfriend had to be like, nope, I'm bowing out.
Well, so good.
You actually scared off one of the members of the Cinemarijuana Theatre.
She might have chosen wisely. I think. Today we are here to talk about, from 1983, Style Wars, selected by Garrett.
Whereas the kids call him Garrett.
They do, and they spell it wrong as well. And he also, because the film was short, he also showed a short film, the student version of THX 1138.
Yeah, George Lucas's original student film,
which is called like THX 1138 Q something 4EB or something.
Wait, the student version has the longer name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Yeah, the theatrical one was just THX 1138.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to actually look that up for us, John. But so we're pretty much here to discuss Style Wars. We'll talk a little bit about... I guess we'll talk a little bit about THX first before we get into formalities. But I guess we need the formality of introductions for the Cinemarijuana Theatre. I'm Ed.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm John.
I'm Raul.
I'm Crunchy.
All right, so let's. How about we Underberg it? Yeah.
Yeah. What better way to start the podcast than with Underberg?
Well, Underberg.
Give a little Underberg, loosening the gums and settling the gut.
Underberg, pull down your pants.
So the THX he showed was the student version, which means it wasn't like because the one I saw was like almost a feature length.
It was.
Yeah, he made that afterwards.
He made it,
in
like 1971 or something. But when he was a film student at USC.
Yeah, it's called Electronic Labyrinth, THX 1138 4EB.
Okay,
he was always fond of really terrible titles.
Film. It's 15 minutes long. It was from 1967, written and directed by George Lucas, and created while he was attending the University of Southern California's film school.
Was that based on a true story?
It was. Yeah, he can see through time.
Wow.
The short was then reworked as the 1971 theatrical feature THX 1138
with Robert Duvall, Bobby D, and.
Where do you get the money for the theatrical version?
From a studio,
well,
like everybody does.
From what I understand,
oh boy, we're gonna have to talk, Jason.
They really liked.
See, when a mommy studio and a daddy studio like a script a lot,
or even a student film in this case,
Okay.
Very special bundle of cash is delivered
by a pelican.
And it's funny because that actually doesn't really happen. It's usually just one studio.
So, Jason, while there's dead
Except
air,
for like the new Spider-Man,
there's a distributor too.
You should sing a song about Underberg and THX 1138 while we're sipping.
You should definitely do
No, you
that.
guys should just edit out the dead air.
No.
Why not flip it up? Like flip the script.
Yeah,
right?
why not make
do that.
just
Why
a
not just
terrible
sing a song,
idea
Jason?
for radio and bring it into
Once
the
we have enough
podcasting
caps
world?
to get the musical trailer, it won't be dead air anymore.
Yeah,
because
that's
you'll be able
true.
to listen to the Underberg.
Well, who's going to run the fucking trailer, John?
You wind it up. It's a wind up.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Well, plus we could probably
shit.
get somebody to sing along too.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Jason.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Here's 2 years.
Have you ever guys noticed that? Like, I think the reason why like dog buttholes are cute is because they don't get messy. Like, unless they have like diarrhea or something, like a dog or a cat butthole is like always clean. You know, like if you poop and you don't wipe, it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm glad that you have now shown us how much better Dead Air could have been.
Yeah.
No, your stand-ups are really good.
We will. Don't worry, folks. You won't have heard what he just said because we'll go back in and replace it with just like really loud static.
Or maybe like a really long...
I could probably find sound effects of like cats shitting.
Ooh.
What would that sound like?
But
No.
I just
Probably like
you
sausage getting skinned.
You'd have to get the mic really close, I imagine. But I would like to say it is humorous how first he chided us for not simply just wanting to edit the dead air out, but then immediately rises to the challenge and takes it right into the gutter
Just really, yeah.
as well.
Just, right. Just
so
If you guys are going to do something terrible, I'm going to make you suffer
6 feet on the ground.
consequences for your bad choices.
Thank you for that.
You know, I used to work with a guy who would listen to his cat's chest when they took a shit.
How did
What?
they let him get that close?
I guess they're distracted. You wait. He used to sneak up like a ninja because they're already doing it, so they can't stop him.
And is the shit smell not wafting up into his face?
I didn't really ask about that, but I guess he says they make like small grunting noises.
I'd be dry heaving so hard, dude.
That is
I'm thinking about it.
hilarious
So wait, how did he
and
listen to
adorable.
the chest of a cat? Did he use a stethoscope?
No, he put his ear up to the cat's chest. You know,
The underside of the cat.
well,
They
just kinda-
grunt?
They sit upright when they do it.
Little kitty grunts, like
Well, like a meerkat?
Yeah. No, like
Yeah,
a regular
like,
house
meow.
cat.
Like, meow.
They squat, so they're mostly upright. They're not laying down when they do it.
The underside of a cat is fraught with danger. Like I don't.
Hey,
What?
look, I didn't want to ask too many questions to this guy.
maybe you
because
should
it
have.
seemed weird. He also used to push them over, like cat tipping.
when I'd walk my dog and he'd go pee on our walks, like would lift his leg up on the bushes, I'd push him into the bushes.
Dog tipping.
I thought it was funny.
So you think these are all of the conversations that George Lucas anticipated following the viewing of his film, or have we not covered them all?
I think these are all the conversations you should cut out in the editing room.
think-
So
No, I
this
think
never
with the way
sees the light of
his
day.
career went, this is pretty par for the course.
Well, I don't think it turned into animal shit until
It could be worse. We could be talking about episode 1.
Let's talk about episode Red Tails. How's that sound?
Episode Red Tails.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about THX 1138. We don't necessarily need to do 3 minutes, 3 words on this. Because I know. Okay, so we can just get this right off the bat. Kenzie hated it, obviously.
Well, I should probably tell you what it's about first.
Oh yes.
Yeah, give us the
Okay,
synopsis.
that's right.
'Cause
Please do.
a lot of
Okay.
people probably haven't seen this.
To be perfectly honest, when I look back on this movie, what I think it is about is just a lot of like running through hallways and technology bullshit. And that's what it's about.
You wouldn't be wrong.
That's
That's
literally
actually-
all
yes.
that's in it is
There
like
was a lot
running
of
and
that.
technology.
I loved it, but that's actually a pretty accurate synopsis.
There was
of what
no
the movie's about.
storyline at all.
There was.
Well, because the running is because a dude's escaping.
Yeah, I was
from
gonna say,
technological
I think
bullshit.
I think someone's trying to escape, but I couldn't
It was
really
like
be sure.
it was almost like Whiteback's badass song.
Yeah.
Because in Sweetback he's running. I mean, and
Yeah.
in this it was
Come
that
on,
dude.
Feeds, do your thing.
But that guy was white.
it was this Mr. Bean looking dude
Yeah.
who was just on the run because he didn't want to be a slave to technology anymore.
Was he in the
Techno-fear.
in the full picture?
negative.
No, they
well,
replaced him
at
with-
least not in a starring
Like
capacity.
hot Hollywood celebrities.
Yeah. Bobby D's pretty hot, I got to say. Okay. So yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing the ratio of likes to dislikes Kenzie has had for every single film we've shown.
It's
You
got to
know
be.
what?
I'm thinking 70-30 dislike. And there
Everything
might-
good she
Dislike.
dislikes, everything bad she likes.
No, I liked pretty much every one of the movies in our last round, Animal Antagonists,
Oh,
except for
no.
like Mine
It won't go away.
and Secret of Nymph.
And
Nymph.
And that's it. I liked
But I think
all
he
the
means
others.
like in general, not just the last theme.
We don't
Right.
have time to go through all
Yeah,
those
we
right
don't
now.
have time. That can be a part of our awards show.
That
go,
could be
yeah,
like,
maybe
that
we
could be
can-
like a special 5-minute podcast.
Maybe we can
that
create
just do on the
statistics
site.
online.
We should get it. Yeah, one of those Excel spreadsheets. So, all right. So, Kenzie, since you told us what it was about, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you thought about it, really quick?
I just really hated it, and that's pretty much all I thought about it.
Okay.
I was bored of it. I'm glad it was so short. I don't think I could have handled much more of it. And my 3 words are never watch movie. This movie. Never watch this movie.
Never watch
Never
again would have
watch
been a better.
THX. And THX is one thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
there you go.
John, you want to say something?
Well, personally, I loved this movie. I'd seen the theatrical one, but I'd never seen this one before. You can see, obviously, the seeds, the acorns that grew the mighty oak of the Star Wars franchise, especially the first one, because the first one, I remember,
the franchise
is the only original one that he directed in the first trilogy. I mean,
Right.
don't get me wrong, he had his fingers deep in those pies, but he didn't actually direct them. But with this one, you can see the direct influence. It's incredibly ahead of its time. I said for a movie that was made in 1967, it looks like it was made in 1977, which might sound retarded, but if you get what I'm going for, it's like
Sure.
It's. I mean, I would say for the time, I think it was a really ahead of its time for the look of the technology, especially considering it's a student film. So I think we might actually have something that might defeat Cannibal the Musical as the greatest student film ever made, for me.
Oh God.
So
No
for me,
Crimson commemoration, huh?
I don't think it's fair to vote for movies I've appeared in.
Where's the fucking piece?
I've got it right here. It's still going.
It is?
Yeah. There's still some green on the corner.
Holy shit.
So my 3 words are the new champ for student films that I've seen.
Okay.
In case you care.
Raul?
I care.
I thought it was pretty okay. The story is very heavily implied, and it's just
That's
through
true.
this mechanical whirrings and shit through walkie-talkies. It definitely felt like a student film, and there was some shit that just felt like the teacher was like, "Hey, we need to do like a pull focus one in this project," and he's like, "All right, I got that. And I'll do the rest of the movie in the parking garage. My dad will give me another $200."
It was a cool looking parking garage.
That was all right.
It was cool looking, man. It had a Logan's Run vibe.
If I think it's the second time I've seen this. If I ever see it again, I'm going to be fucking surprised. Maybe even a little. I may even be a little triggered.
So you're gonna share Kenzie's 3 words of never see again.
My 3 words are okay, whatever, dude.
Hey, that's a good 3 words. Okay, Jason?
I actually thought I'd seen this, but it was just revealed to me that this was the student film.
Oh, that's right. You got
I got confused last week. It's like, wow, you had enough time for both of these?
Yeah.
I was thinking that Style Wars must have been really short. I missed more of it than you thought. Than I thought I did.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and abstain.
And defer.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Something
well,
I never did in high school.
Raul, I think you make a good point. It's funny. You if you watch a lot of student films, and I have. I mean, not like so many, but
You're a student.
We've seen a lot of student films.
Yeah, because we've got a student film running on the student film circuit.
And I think student films film students tend to want to. I think they're ambitious beyond their storytelling means.
I think there's also like a hint of pretentiousness with
I
that's
agree.
at least stereotypical to student films.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure mine are guilty of it just as much as anybody else's. But the thing of it, like Kurosawa, in one of those, it's wonderful to create things. I think he talked about you have to be able to tell the story so everybody can understand it. It can't be totally complicated, or you're going to lose your fucking audience. And even if you have like some people that are hip to it, that's not really what it's about. It's about communicating a story in a way that anybody that watches it can understand. And I think that's part of why Kurosawa was so tremendously successful. And with students, they kind of tend to want to obscure. They kind of want to get away from, like, I don't want to say making it obvious, but just kind of laying it out. They want to, keep the cards close to the vest, be coy, be, dramatic, and make it stylish and stuff. And so, the narrative that's going on in THX 1138, the student film, is certainly not right. Like ripe for interpretation. Like you got, or for immediate understanding. Like you got to read shit into it. That being said, stylistically, I loved it. I thought it was wonderful. Like as John said, there's definitely you could see the seeds had been planted for stylistically what it is that one of the reasons I adore Star Wars is because of the style, and that's something that is evident here as well.
Kind of felt like Logan's Run a bit too.
A little bit.
It
Yeah.
did.
Does this predate Logan's Run?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Logan's from '74,
Yeah.
I think.
But yeah, it feels
yeah.
very Star Warsy, and like the shots of just like kind of the technology, and really some of the shots of like on the Death Star when they're operating the Death
definitely.
Star controls and stuff.
And it's all grim. It also kind of reminded me of Brazil. It's very Orwellian.
Oh, for sure.
So I mean, my 3 words were, "Where's that George?"
Where that George?
That's
that
what
George
because
at?
that's the only question I had written down about this is how much Star Wars would you sacrifice to get George Lucas back? Because I said to you guys in the aftermath of watching this that, I mean, as much as I love it, like if we could go back in time and have Star Wars like not be a hit, and we could get George Lucas, like the adventurous, this kind of filmmaker back,
what we've gotten.
I would be willing to even sacrifice Empire Strikes Back.
It would be interesting to say. I mean, obviously, I think we would all sacrifice the prequels. Like if he had given it a rest after the completion of the original trilogy, maybe moved on to do some other films.
I think the damage had been done at that
well,
point.
that's he'd already become his own.
He's already a depressing.
conglomeration.
He's already a depressing guy. He's already a super depressed morose filmmaker
Well,
as
and
it
he was,
is.
and he was a franchise. By the time even the first Star Wars was done, it would be he was already a franchise.
Yeah.
So really, if we were talking about a time travel thing, like you're going to go back in time and like do something to change it, you'd have to completely erase the entire Star Wars trilogy. Because the first one was the one that did the damage.
just wish-
The first one made the money to establish Lucasfilm as an actual
what if you were
independent
like
entity.
the night before it came out? If you were like, oh, and he totally like banged a bunch of kids on the set.
Like you like all frame them or something.
Yeah, do you think that would stop people
I guess
from going to see
it's possible, but you would have to ruin the
like
first
just
movie
like
somehow.
ruin him in the press like a week before it opens and be like, oh, dude, this is like this movie's about I don't know.
But
prison
then
rape
think
or
about it. If you got to
something.
ruin him that bad, then he's not going to be able to make good movies after that. So it's not going to work.
I don't know. Maybe you would because it wasn't until like Jaws and Star Wars that this whole tentpole blockbuster shit began. Anyway,
No, but if you're going to create a scandal,
I think they would have been safe.
If you're going to create a scandal so bad that it destroys
you
can't
Star
destroy
Wars
the
in the
man.
theaters,
Damn
how's
it.
he going to have a career?
Okay, I'm not saying it's the best
I'm saying
idea.
you'd have to sponge away the entire Star Wars thing.
I'm
No
not-
Star Wars.
Yeah,
I feel like
That's it,
I should have seen American Graffiti for a frame of reference of what Lucas could have been because I've never
same
seen it.
here.
I've only seen Star Wars.
You know
and
what?
this.
Have you seen any of the other have you seen like Stand by Me or
Yeah.
like any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Like The Wanderers,
Oh, yeah.
that kind
Love
of
it.
stuff. I think you would dig American Graffiti because it's a really depressed and depressing film.
You already got my attention.
And it's sort of, I think it's remembered as this great kind of look back at like the halcyon days of like, American, youth in the 20th
Americana.
century.
And
But
all the moms were like, over there, hey,
Forget about it.
these meatballs are spicy.
but it's really kind of grim.
Yeah.
And I think you would be like, that's rad. You should,
I'll check it out.
yeah, we should watch
Yeah,
it.
let's do it.
Okay. Well,
No, we're not.
is,
doing that
oh, we're
dancing
gonna.
thing.
Oh, geez, we're supposed to.
Can I get a whoa? Let's watch that movie.
Okay, so I guess that'll should we wrap it up for this short film, and let's get into Star Wars.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. Time's up.
Yeah, I think if you want to see this, it's available as the bonus features on the DVD and Blu-ray release of the theatrical THX 1138.
And it could probably be even found on YouTube.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Not
All right.
RedTube.
So, Style Wars, Kenzie.
That's TH Sex 1138.
Oh, that's what
kept popping up.
1169.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Hey,
Style Wars.
yeah. Synopsize.
It's a documentary about, are they called graffiti writers?
Graffitios.
I think
tra-
that's well, technically they're called
train
bombers.
riders?
I guess
Bombers.
bombers was
Bombers?
in the film at least. Bombers is the official term.
Okay.
For what they
It's
do.
about a group of bombers, and those are people who graffiti on trains. And most of it's pretty cool graffiti, like fun, like 3D shit and colorful. And it's about kind of the like rival groups, and it's pretty cool,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah. Okay. So, who wants to start? Or, well, I guess, do we have any seed and stems on this?
There's
This was our third documentary here at the Cinemarijuana Theatre, at least for Las Películas Sábados Gigantes. Previously, we had seen Stripped, selected by Jason Land, and we saw Paris is Burning, selected by Zam.
I
So
missed
just
both of those.
real quick season stems. It was directed and produced by Tony Silver. Released in 1983. It was actually originally broadcast on PBS, but then it was subsequently shown in film festivals, including the Vancouver Film Festival, and it won the Grand Jury Prize documentary at the Sundance Film Festival.
Okay. Does it say the names of the characters, the stars?
Let's see. Featured graffiti artists: Demon, S63, SE3, Spank, Dez, Scheme, Says 157, Min 1, Is the Wiz, Squick, Sack, Dondi, Scene, Case 2.
I remember
UA,
Scheme and Scene.
Zephyr, Revolt, Wasp 1, Knock, Case, D5, Costco, Trap, Butch, Zone. Kid wants to say, oh, you know what? This just keeps going on and on.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. That's a lot of graffiti artists.
Also, one thing people don't realize, this movie is based on a true story.
That's what I understand.
Yeah, they actually
Wow.
did.
Yeah, few documentaries are that bold.
It also features the breakdancers Crazy Legs and Frosty Freeze, which I
They
just want to
were
get in there
good.
because I love the names
And
Crazy
they were-
Legs
they
and
were-
Frosty Freeze.
They were part of the Rocksteady crew.
Yeah,
I
they were.
think. if I remember correctly.
Crazy Legs got pretty famous. He was in that Def Jam fighting game. You could select him versus Henry Rollins. I always go with
Hank
Henry
Rollins
so.
was in that
Yeah,
game.
it was pretty
Oh,
rad.
I should have got that.
Absolutely
Dude, I love
decimates
Hank.
the oppression that he.
Man.
That's
Me
pretty. I almost
too.
got that game too. It was pretty popular for a while.
It was good.
Okay, so who wants to start us off with their 3 minutes, 3 words on Star Wars? Raul?
Yeah, Raul.
Looks
Looks
like
like
you've
somebody's-
been volunteered.
All right. When do
Just go ahead and start.
I dug this? I've always had I've always been interested in urban culture, especially with graffiti artists. I went through like a huge graffiti phase. Not that I could do it because I lack total artistic
Right.
anything.
No shit.
But I've
Yeah,
always
I'm
been
right there
interested
with
in
you.
it and kind of collected like different urban art and stuff like that for a little bit. Because it also kind of bleeds into like the more modern vinyl art scene. So nowadays, a lot of the guys that are taggers or were taggers are kind of just doing more modern stuff, whether it's like painting graffiti on the action figures and shit or whatever. And it's pretty rad. The movie's pretty great because it really takes you in there. And I kind of had to wonder how they knew where to find these people, because these are people who are basically anonymous. These are the 70s versions of screen names. Like, how the fuck do you find these people?
Yeah.
You know? And it was really surprising that they kind of found everybody. They even found that one dickhead who was tagging over other people's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that I was really surprised about, and I'm a little disappointed we didn't get a big final brawl with everyone just
Me
beating the
too.
shit out of that
Final
guy.
like tag
Yeah.
off.
They really
Yeah.
got, because they talked to everybody from the mayor to
I
like the
have
dudes
that written in
who are
my
breaking the
notes.
laws.
And there was some rad stuff, like when they showed the whole the dog run thing where the two fences with the puppers running through it and shit, just to try to deter
That
these guys.
story was hilarious.
But I mean, if there's anything we've learned over time, it's almost impossible to keep these people doing from what they love doing.
Well, and if I learned anything, it's that if you say dorg to somebody from New York, that means dog.
That actually reminded me of that Al Snow versus the Big Boss Man match where they had fences between the rings with Dobermans
Yeah.
like circling.
Shut
them.
up.
That wasn't.
They did.
the-
They really
that's
did.
rad. That
yeah.
that was just different than the dog shit match they had.
Yeah, that was a different one, but yeah, they've got a lot of puppers involved in the matches over the years.
they have, for
World
sure.
Wrestling Entertainment.
Puppers too young.
But that's just 3 words.
It was a great flick though. If you're interested in this stuff, it really takes you through from the tagging all the way to the whole breakdancing subculture as well, and you really get a glimpse of these guys' life. And
Yeah.
it's
It
great.
really feels like an inside view. For
Yeah,
sure.
I wish this could have even been longer. Like I could have gone for like a 5-part series on this.
I was a little
Just-
sad when it was over.
Right. Yeah,
'cause it's so quick.
Absolutely. But it was great. My 3 words. Let's tag shit up.
All right.
Shit up's like one word.
Tag
Shit up. Yeah. All right, Jason.
So I had always thought I'd like graffiti, but it turns out I like murals, like done in that
Okay.
graffiti style.
I learned
'Cause
something today.
Yeah, I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, graffiti is just like, or at least the way they generally think of it is like, tags.
Basically, it's their names for the most
People,
part.
people
Yeah.
basically going Kilroy was here.
Right. They get artistic with it, but it is basically just their name.
Yeah, and I'd never been a huge fan of that. I'd always been way more into murals and like something slightly less abstract.
Well, I think maybe that's kind of what it evolved into, because I almost feel like the mural thing it's the same kind of people who now do the murals, but it's just that it's the art form kind of evolved.
Or maybe the documentarian just focus on taggers. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. Could be. I mean, because they
It's
kind of did
unclear.
that one
I-
wall mural. Some of the guys
But it was
did
still a tag.
scene, and yeah, that's true.
But
It was
even
still
their tags
names.
are more artistic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's a lack of art in their tags. It just I found out that day that I like murals, not
sure.
not tags.
Fair enough. Fair dues.
I definitely felt like there's a little bit of an anticlimax with not knowing what happened with that tagger, like the guy who would write his name on other people's tags, Cap.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to see some sort of resolution there.
They do sort of set him as the antagonist.
The
and
fan
there's
of
no-
Hollywood films definitely wants you
But
to
I mean,
see
but maybe,
payoff of the
yeah.
villain.
And I was thinking, like, well,
Come
maybe
up,
that's
it's-
a mistake.
He was never hoisted by his own petard.
No, he wasn't. He never received his due.
It doesn't even need to be like they beat him down. I just would like to see like what happened to him or any of the others.
Yeah.
Well,
I
almost like
just-
if they had like an epilogue type of thing where
Yeah.
like, maybe you find out where
I would have
I
just.
mean,
the ones who went legit and maybe the ones who went to jail
Of
or
course,
the ones who gave it up.
of course, 90% of them ended up getting a job, going to jail, dying young,
Yeah.
or just fading into obscurity and just got a normal life.
I would just have liked to seen him leave with his hat in his hand.
That'd been great, and his tail between his legs.
I mean, yeah, everyone
Someone really need
definitely
a hand on
wants.
his hat.
I mean, he's definitely presented, whether it's a documentary or not, as an antagonist. I definitely would
sure.
have liked to have him see.
Well,
him
and it's
get one.
hard. I mean, obviously, like everybody says, documentaries always have their agenda, but it's hard to not see.
Right.
When his goal is to deliberately go out and cover up everybody else's art with his name.
I would also,
you know.
I would have also wish we could have gotten like maybe just had the director like maybe ask a few more questions to get people to kind of get deeper into their like, oh well, I tag because like my name's out there and like it gives me like a sense of like lasting immortality when like graffiti is like one of the more
some people did. Some people talked
impermanent.
about like kind of why they did it and sort of what like the one guy saying that it's not about other people seeing your name, it's about you seeing your name, it's about you seeing it out there, or the guy who had one arm talking about how his art's about trying to open up people's eyes and get them to at least wake up on some level because they're seeing something that's kind of shaking them out of their normal, just kind of blasé daily routine. So some I guess they gave the motivation, but not all.
I definitely recommend seeing it. I'm gonna look for more graffiti and mural related documentaries now too. Like kind of related is that Banksy. Maybe it's a documentary, maybe not. Well,
Exit through the gift shop.
Exit through the gift shop. So yeah, my 3 words are original dank memes.
No shit.
In a way, yeah, they really are the original dank memes, the dankest.
Yeah.
This is the original memeria.
For reals, it is, dude. Papa Fazul, eat your heart out.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia.
All right.
You're up.
So I wrote some notes down. I'm trying to pack a bowl here, but first I wrote down, looks like, why don't they commission the artists instead, which actually they end up discussing in the film. They as a way to sort of, because the city, that's one of the interesting things sort of morally about this film is to recognize the artistic talent on display and the desire to express oneself, but realizing that perhaps there is something that socially isn't super awesome about the means by which they're expressing this creativity, but then they do try and experiment with that by actually bringing in some of these artists to paint trains on purpose.
Yeah, and the ones too that went to the art galleries and actually started doing their stuff on canvas and try to go legit as artists who then are also making money and are using their art as a way to support themselves.
I thought it wasn't canvas, but like someone figured out how to like peel the paint in a thin layer off the train.
It was both. They had some kind of like, because there was one too where it was basically like sort of like metal they were painting, but some were just straight up canvas. They basically had like an art show.
All right,
where they had a bunch of work by urban or street artists.
I wrote down here Trap and his buddy, amazing, absolutely beautiful. I have to admit, as someone who has tried his hand at art in the past and who has certainly been a consumer of art, it was if what we saw on camera was totally in earnest, it was just wonderful that there would be such a vibrant scene with so many enthusiastic participants and so much sort of like camaraderie because they sort of exist on the fringes. I was totally jealous, and it was really wonderful to see these two guys like because the one dude was older, talking about how he looks out for the little guy because he was totally impressed by his style and his talent. That was just fucking amazing for me. Even though some are douche-worthy, I love the militant way in which they strictly adhere to their ideology. The one dude who was like couldn't stop tagging up like the dinner table, like talking about I don't even fucking remember now, but just the way he was like he was like so about like his artistic sensibilities.
He was a douche.
I think that's one of the wonderful things about being a young artist. Is because that's why you're driven to do something. You're like, man, fuck this. Like you feel passionately about something and you strive to kind of make your mark or affect it in some way with what you do. So even if it was sort of an act of social deviance or not really exactly productive, it was heartwarming to see him just be like so about his, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like why I have kind of some respect for like straight edge punkers, even though I don't have a lot. And I wrote, what the fuck?
Oh, that's your 3 words, right?
Yeah. What the fuck? Where was my scene as a child? I've been robbed. Okay.
There was an 80s scene. We had a scene.
I wasn't part of any fucking scene.
It was like some kind
of
like
there was nothing like this. And even when I try to be involved in art and scenes, it's like, nobody, like, I don't know.
I feel like it was some kind of a pop culture consumer scene that we were involved in. Maybe Cuckoos for that one. I don't know.
All right.
Maybe the kids.
My
Cinemarijuana Juniors.
We're doing it for the kids.
I gotta hit the pitch shift on it and make them sound scary.
Shit got dark right there.
All right,
No, it just got rad.
my 3 words for this film are fucking A, man,
Okay, yeah.
because I'm behind it. If
I
somebody
support
said
it.
that to me about it, like, dude, should I watch this movie? And they said fucking A, man.
If
Then I'd be like, yeah.
If you're
Oh,
like
yeah,
in a,
definitely.
if you're like
Definitely.
in Fry's and you see a DVD case and it says "fucking A man" as the quote, I think that's gonna sell.
How
it.
could you go
Well,
wrong?
I would read
Yeah.
that as fucking a man.
I guess it depends on how you.
Yeah, it depends
You
where
know,
you put the apostrophe.
I've always no, but is it
A-Y-E?
yeah? Is
Fucking
it
A,
A? Is it the letter A? Is it A-Y? Is it A-Y-E? Is it E-H?
I think it's A.
It's
like
A
the letter
apostrophe,
A.
yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would think it would just be apostrophe after the N.
Like it's not like
Regular
fucking A. It's like fucking
Fucking
A.
I need to. We should call Away with Words on NPR and
Find out. Be like,
and
where fucking A come
I've
from?
always been curious about the
Hey.
phrase "fucking A."
Could you please
Could you
fill me
please
in on
get
that
down
one?
with
I don't think I like that phrase.
Fucking A.
That's kind of old school, I
It's
guess.
kind of dumb.
Fucking
I
A, right?
kind of like, yeah. Like, what does it
is
mean?
it Canadian because of the
I
A?
don't like
Fucking A,
it.
right? Is
It ain't that
Canadian?
kind of A either, though.
Oh, jeez.
No.
A-E either.
Different A.
God damn it. Start her fucking time because it's time for Kenzie to give her things. 3 words.
Okay. I like this movie. If there were more parts to it, like a sequel, I would totally watch it. Also, like Jason, it made me realize that I really kind of only appreciate murals because I really don't see any good kind of advanced graffiti like this in my daily life. But like we've got some pretty cool local murals,
Yeah,
like on Grand and
for
stuff.
sure.
Yeah. And
People put a lot of good murals
And
up
downtown
online.
San Diego as well.
the one
yeah.
with all the people climbing each other, and then there's like spray painting.
Yeah.
And
Isn't-
people aren't
Good
usually going to
stuff.
post
I'm not sure where
pictures
that
of like
was.
tags online, but
I
you
think
can
it's
see a
by
lot
Horton
of good
Plaza.
murals up online.
Yeah, murals are cool. I also wrote down that I was really disappointed that guy, they didn't just get together and beat his ass. Like,
Oh, the one guy who was
fuck
bombing all their
you,
stuff.
dude.
The cap, right?
What's that guy's
Yeah.
problem?
He's the original troll. Like he was the first guy on YouTube to say gay. Like when you posted your video.
He
of
was
your
like the
cat.
first guy to teabag somebody in a first-person
Yeah.
shooter.
Yeah. The original shitlord.
Yeah. Well, that guy's a dick, so
Yeah.
I really was, like, disappointed.
They
in
were
him.
like talking like they were going to team up and run a train on him, but it never happened.
They should have ran a train on him.
Well, I like too. That was part of what's cool is that there was sort of like a not like I mean, it's like it wasn't like a gang thing, even though there was obviously a things were based on their locale. It wasn't like a violence, like a connected to a
No.
violence type of thing.
Yeah.
At least not back then.
Also, I wish it would have focused more on breakdancing and less on the graffiti, because that would have just been like more interesting to me personally.
I guess as a dank nug right here, that was how it was originally going to be. It was going to be about breakdancing and hip hop more, but they found that they had way more footage of the whole graffiti thing, so they decided to sort of flip the focus of the movie. So it's about both, but it was originally supposed to be more about music, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I would have liked that more. But so my 3 words are Gimme Part 2.
Yeah, nice. I could see them doing like a follow up, like especially because I think it's a different world. It's probably just the way it's connected to kind of counterculture. I'm sure there's been changes so that if they did one, like a sequel today, you could get a really different story out of it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, so I loved this movie. I always loved documentaries, and this one succeeded, like all the best documentaries do, with being educational as well as entertaining. Mm-hmm. And it was a bummer that it was so short because I was right up in there. So it was like when it was over, it's kind of like, oh man, it's funny how entertaining those kids are. Like, just put a camera on them and let them do what they do, and it's like, I don't know, it's like Welcome Back Kotter on crack or something.
Crack.
Welcome, Crack Cotter. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's interesting because it's interesting to see the roots of. I mean, because I feel like that's probably sort of around where that thing kind of started, and then it became obviously more of a nationwide thing. And I don't know if it's true or not, but like we were talking about the idea that maybe the whole kind of mural street art thing sort of came out of bombing. It's really interesting to get the focus and like the worldview of all the different people and like all these kind of kids. And they're sort of, I mean, they're all the same, but sort of different. I mean, there's obviously where they're from is a big part of who they are and the time they lived in, and it's very much obviously of the era that it's made, very much of the 80s. So it's fun if you're interested at all in either anything urban, hip hop, breakdancing, the 80s, or fucking street art, it's definitely worth giving it a watch. It's a very capable documentary, and I'm not surprised that it won awards and originally was aired on PBS, the original televised bastion of quality documentaries.
That's
so
a
yeah,
huge accolade.
my 3 words are street art rules.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Really quick, I have a couple of notes. I just want to read really quick. One, I wrote the dude with one arm and the kid that looks like Gene Ween are my favorites.
It was cool. Was the dude the one who dropped Frazetta's name, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Which
that
was
rad.
awesome.
That
Yeah,
was
to see
rad.
that, like, obviously these guys know their shit when he's just dropping
There would've been-
Frazetta's name.
I would love
like
to see a
that.
Frazetta style influence piece on the wall.
Oh, that would have been
somewhere in this
awesome.
film.
Yeah.
He's one.
There'd
of
been
the,
like some sort of hot jungle babe, just like who's for
Like
inexplicable.
wrapped around a giant snake or some shit, or
Yeah.
like some barbarian like chopping off some minotaur's head or something.
And then the last thing I wrote: why is graffiti shunned but bus ads are accepted?
Yeah. Wow.
That kind of struck me as like, no, it's okay if people pay us to fucking to
smear that feces all over the
yeah,
wall.
exactly. To pollute these the buses that you're all paying for with crass commercial things.
The ads are way cleaner than the graffiti. Like,
No, but
if
I
you
mean,
look
but-
at it
but one of them-
aesthetically,
But one of them's art, the other's marketing. Well, I
Well,
guess
it comes down to like what looks cleaner.
yeah. Well, then shouldn't we object to both?
It's a weird.
No.
Well, no, but it's a weird kind of gray area
I'd
because the people, okay, like it or not, those ads that people have paid for that ad to be there.
Yeah, but
That's
if there's a
helping
wall and the person who owns that wall rents part of that wall out to put drink Coke on the side of the wall, that's different than somebody coming along
I guess,
and tagging
but
it up.
I find advertising more offensive.
Well, of
than
course
I find
you
this,
do,
so-
but it's. I mean,
I
like
guess,
I
I guess that's
It's
ultimately
city revenue.
it's sort of
revenue
a-
for
it's
Like, I,
It's
mean, I
sort of a
understand that,
weird-
but all I'm just saying is that I'm disappointed with humans that like.
you think they would want the art?
I think that if I think the fair thing would be to reject both of them,
well, and honestly,
or to prefer the art over
it's
the
it's
ads.
almost like the thing in the movie where they show how they wash the train cars, right? And because they have all this paint on them, they can't use like regular cleansers. They have to use a special cleanser, and that special cleanser also makes the paint run, so it just makes the whole thing look like shit.
Yeah.
And so it's like a no-win situation. Like really,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, you got to understand where both sides are coming from. Like, okay, if you bought a nice shiny new train car, you wouldn't necessarily want somebody tagging it up.
Well,
But then, obviously, hey, I love the art, and I think it would be cool if that could be represented and accepted, and just have it be there as part of like the pulse of the street or
Yeah.
whatever.
okay. Also one thing I think we might want to talk about. I sort of thought of the territoriality as an extension of their masculinity. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there wasn't a lot of chicks doing this.
Yeah, I don't think there was any chicks doing this in the
And
movie.
it was like, I don't know, it was sort of the same thing as like, why dudes subconsciously are driven to fuck. It's like, oh no, I want to see my name like all over town. Like, and then some other dude comes along. Chris, for example, when we created the bit about the mushroom tip dip.
Right.
Because the Chris educated us to the potential fact that the human penis is evolutionarily designed to scoop out your competitor's semen from the woman's birth canal. Right? That's why.
No, it's just a way to make like cream pie fucking a little hotter.
No,
how did
right.
we get to this?
Well, no,
that's a feature, not
What are you
like
guys even talking about anymore?
No. Here's what I'm saying. Because so it's the same thing. The guy that goes like, oh, that's somebody else's beautiful art. Like, oh, I'm gonna go spray over it.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it like guys like fighting over like if there's a woman between two guys, like there's always if the dude that like it's like he wins if he gets the girl.
It's all some kind of male machismo. It's all
That's
dick
what
waving. I
I'm
mean, I
saying.
gotta believe. I don't know. Maybe Kenzie, you can attest to this. I gotta believe there's a lot less initials carved into the walls of the ladies' room than the men's room. If you know what
Oh
I'm
no,
saying.
there's
No?
a ton of initials.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
just people in general, just assholes. But I mean, I guess I could say there is maybe something in the sort of male machismo thing about wanting to.
That's I don't know.
Put
It
your
just
name out
seems to me to be
there.
the same thing to spread your DNA as far as
Well, and-
to proliferate your DNA
And
as
that's-
prolifically as
I
possible.
guess that's also a reason to be kind of against it too, because it's like, oh, well, who the hell are you, like, to put your name on these trains? Like, these aren't your trains.
I'm sure around that time though, like what was that, 70s, late 70s, early 80s,
Early 80s.
New York, for a woman to go out at night to
Yeah,
these fucking
scary.
underground
Yeah,
areas
probably not a
and
rat
shit
idea.
and train depots.
It'd be like Rape City, USA.
Yeah.
Rapesburg at
Yeah,
the
it would be,
least.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rape Sylvania.
Or maybe like a Rape Hamlet, even.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like an
perhaps a
unincorporated-
rape propinquity.
It'd be a rape-orama.
Okay.
Yeah, we really class it up now. Went from the mushroom tip to a rape-orama.
Yeah.
You know, actually, since you mentioned the bathrooms, I actually really like places that let graffiti happen in the bathrooms, and you go in and there's just like all sorts of tagging.
It's reading material.
It can be fun
I
sometimes.
like it.
I've gotten a good chuckle out of
Especially
things.
at bars.
It's like
well,
a-
I guess
it's-
only at bars.
It's like having a stack of magazines or a nice novel.
yeah,
Or
it's
like
cool.
at the Casbah in San Diego, there's always so many band stickers up on, and even
You could spend
shockingly
all
enough,
day.
inside of the
You
urinals
could
that
Yeah.
spend
you can
all day.
just checking stuff out. Yeah, I don't know who the brave souls are who stick things in the inside of the urinals, but there you go.
Okay. Street art, social deviance, or legit method of expression.
Yes.
Right. Everybody's for this stuff. Everybody's into it.
Does anybody
I mean,
like-
this is a yes to both. It's not an and or an or.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah, I
I think
guess
it's
that-
definitely both.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I think people, would tend to like kind of be more on one side of the fence than the other.
I thought of one problem too is even if you try to legitimize it, being like, okay, guys, like we got these trains, go ahead and tag them up. Well, once they've tagged all the trains, they're gonna still want to keep tagging.
Yeah.
So they're either gonna have to start bombing other people's trains, or else then move on to some other conveyance.
Planes.
Because they're not gonna want to stop doing it if that's what their passion is. Like they need an outlet.
So what do you do with them then? Yeah, that's
well,
it.
I put it on canvas. I guess is pretty much the only solution.
Why don't they do that? Why don't they fucking wrap the trains in canvas?
That's an interesting.
Lack
idea.
of ruggedness.
lack of funds,
Let's slow the trains down.
some
wind
kind of
resistance,
aerodynamic problems.
My ex-boyfriend's little brother was really into like tagging for a while,
Right?
and I think he got in trouble for it. So he like his mom got him big, huge pieces of wood all the time as his outlet.
And
like,
that worked?
I don't know if it worked, but
But he used them?
But
But
he
he definitely
used
got
them.
better.
Okay.
he
I mean, I
definitely
think
got better at tagging.
It seems like, and they almost attest to the fact that, like, even though they obviously all do it, like, kind of in their homes too, like, part of it is getting your name out there where other people can see it,
Right.
or where you can see it where it's not supposed to be. That's why I think that even if they did go legit, they would still want to tag up stuff they're not supposed to tag up.
Yeah.
Which is almost tough because it's almost like breaking the law is part of the art.
So if we could get these dudes laid, you think that would, stop them from doing it?
no.
No. That,
Good-
what? Doesn't
Just,
make
no,
sense.
just,
That
no,
would
just
just
get them wives or
encourage
girlfriends.
them.
They'll stop doing it.
No. What will stop them doing it is like something to do. It's
Right.
Like, it's like when you have a,
Someone
That's what
to
they
do.
want to do, though. Like
no.
that's their
It's like
hobby.
if you have a child who like finds mommy's makeup and like makes a little drawing on the wall, you give them a piece of paper and some crayons, and they generally stay on the piece of paper, just like the wooden board solution Kenzie mentioned. Like,
But like I said, if
But-
part
but-
of the problem
look,
is that
well, they are all in poor neighborhoods. It's not the rich
Of
kids
course.
doing this.
But that's their scene. Like that's what they want. I can't imagine you giving these kids anything else, and they would stop doing this.
Well,
this
but-
is what they
Yeah.
But
want to do.
and I feel like
tagging is ingrained in these
part
people.
of what the art for them is putting it where it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's half the
so they have
adventure.
to keep doing it.
So
Like I'm saying that even these kids who had their shit
Well, I
up in
mean-
like an art gallery on the weekends, they're probably still up tagging.
So
places.
then you
I feel like that's a symptom though. It wasn't the cause. The cause was like a lack of things to do, and then they developed a culture around it.
sure. Oh, I agree with
and
that.
then it
for
becomes
sure.
the thing to do.
And then
Well-
and then becomes that thing of like, well, you gotta get my name out there. Like,
well, and it's kind of how poverty is like at the heart of all these. Urban
Well, so are you
problems.
suggesting then that social deviance is at the heart of it, like, and that even the participants would be like, well, yeah, like we're trying to be socially deviant.
Well, no, I
No,
think
that was
And
not
it-
my
and
argument.
it- No, I'm not saying you. No, that's kind of what he.
No,
I
but
was
I don't think and
and
it's
is that.
I don't
does
think
that
it's because
deserve
it's
merit
illegal.
or
It's
worthy of
still
merit?
because of like because they're putting it where it's not supposed to be. Like that's kind of the adventure of doing it. If you're like okay, like if you're allowed to do it, it's not quite the same thing.
Right.
And I don't mean this in the sense that like oh, if they couldn't tag, they'd be stealing radios because it's about breaking the law. I don't mean it like that. I mean like inherently what I think for at least a lot of them, what bombing is putting your name up like on a train car or on a billboard or the side of a building where it's out there in society where you and other people can see it. And it's not about putting it on canvas in your own backyard or inside your living room.
Do you think that any of them kept doing it as they got old?
Cap did it until at least 6 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I was looking it up while we were talking. After we finished talking about him.
No shit.
It's probably like a lot of it's probably like dudes like in a band and stuff. Some get married and move on to do something else. Some might have fallen afoul of the law or done anything else. But I'm sure some kept it going. Some might even still be doing it today if they're not.
That's interesting.
Or maybe even some ways still influencing the next generation.
Okay. Well, that's. I guess we'll never truly be able to solve this mystery.
It's a sticky wicket, to say the least.
Furniture versus the people. Who was right? So Kenzie and I got in this argument because that kid was screwing up the table, and the mom was like, "That's bullshit."
I was pissed about it.
And she was like, "That's fucked up." And I'm like, "Dude, but you gotta get him. You gotta put slide paper under him or something." And she was just like, "No."
No, I agreed with that. And I said that he could do it in his room, but don't do it on like the kitchen table.
But don't you think he would know? And this is kind of my point. That don't you think he would have had access to paper? Like it's not about because he could draw on paper if he wanted to. It's on some level. It's not about drawing on paper. That's why they do it.
It's about the permanence of seeing it.
Well, exactly. Sort of right.
Or the relative permanence of
right.
Like,
I mean, you put it up on a wall or building a train. That's something kind of solid, and that's something like I said. That's like exposed. It's out in the world. Whereas if you're in your living room, you just draw it on a piece of paper, then just gets tossed out or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't think it's not about the breaking of the law, but it's about the things that what they like about it just happens to be illegal.
Okay. So I guess we all then agree that he shouldn't be doing it on the fucking table.
Definitely not. What a dickhead.
Rude.
Punk
It's
ass.
disrespectful to his mother.
I'd rub his nose in it.
Yeah. Right in it.
Then I'd rub his nose in me.
Does anybody have any tagging street art or graffiti stories of their own they want to regale us with?
The Casbah female bathrooms may or may not say Ed Hart Kinsey.
Oh, interesting.
So then it looks like Ed wrote it?
You heard it here first.
Now, if the Casbah wants to prosecute somebody in
I'm not
particular
saying
for
that I did
vandalism,
I'm
Oh.
just saying
There's
it
no last
might
names.
say that in there.
Could be a
There's
coincidence.
so many couples I know named Ed and Kenzie.
Yeah.
Also.
That's
well,
what I'm
and we're
saying.
such a famous couple too.
Yeah.
Oh, you
throughout
think it could be
town.
like your guys' fans that are just
it
saying,
would-
like
it would
Joni
It
and Chachi
probably
forever.
was.
Right? It would have to be.
I used to work with a couple of dudes who used to go bombing. One of whom was the guy who used to listen to the Cats when they would take a shit, and they would talk about because I would ask them how because like sometimes you'll see like something tagged up like on a freeway overpass. I'm like, how the hell does that happen? He's like, you just got to
I
be
know.
quick.
I always wondered.
Because
you
a lot
just
of
got to
them,
defy gravity.
well,
real
no,
fast.
because those things got ladders, they can like shimmy up them and
Some
stuff.
of them got
like,
barbed wire.
Well,
up there, too.
but I mean, like, okay, like a lot of the guys that he knew were like skaters too, so I mean, they can move pretty quick. And when
Yeah.
it's like 2:00 in the morning, you skate in there and you just hop up on that shit. I mean, they're nimble and like, remember like when Peter's brother climbed that stupid like light pole and was hanging from it?
Yeah,
like he just
took a
shimmied up that
piss.
thing like a monkey going for coconuts. Or
He
something.
took a piss right in the middle of the fucking intersection.
Yeah, he was
too.
and
That
he was
dude-
hammered.
That's
So
That
pretty
guy
rad.
had fucking nuts.
I'm
of
just
steel.
saying, these guys are sort of like urban ninjas, and like they really do get into kind of all crazy situations to get this shit
Yeah.
done.
And they make
interesting.
those long sticks that you just like pull the trigger and it sprays the cans and it reaches
Oh, that could be
for
some
you.
of it too. Yeah.
Because isn't there a show, or it's on Degrassi or something, where the guy in the wheelchair ends up being the tagger and everyone's like all surprised?
You have to tell us.
I
don't-
don't know.
Oh, where's the crickets? That's when.
Yeah,
Well,
what,
no.
what are you doing over there?
Mamma mia!
I thought I.
Come on, you
Mamma
missed
mia.
two already.
I thought I
mia.
switched the
Ma-
fucking
Mamma
banks.
mia.
Well, you pressed it 6
I was-
times, doesn't still go back.
That's what I was trying to do.
I'm
I
so
thought I
sorry.
hit the button, and I'm like, and then it was all this.
I thought it was sort of
Just
weird.
kept it going.
Here, let me add 10 minutes onto the timer so we can keep talking about this.
Mamma mia.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think we said all
Why
we
can none of
say.
you pronounce it like Style Wars? Everyone's going like Star Wars. Like they're like some like ex-Bostonian trying to talk about George Lucas's seminal 1977 film.
Style Wars.
That's how I say it. I'm saying the L. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Star
Wars.
Starwa.
Star Wars.
Like my ears keep perking up. I'm like, oh, Star Wars time?
It's just because you got Star Wars
Is
on
that
the
something
brain,
you say to
man.
yourself? Star Wars time?
Yeah, you don't?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well, this has been fun talking about Style Wars.
Yeah, a lot of style
A lot of style
in those wars.
in those wars.
Not Star Wars, damn it, style.
no
wars.
And what's crazy is you wouldn't. I mean, never mind.
It is kind of funny though the whole George Lucas
damn it.
THX connection, and then it was Style Wars, but not Star Wars.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah, weird.
Probably
right?
what
Oh my
Garrett was
God.
doing. He's all
Oh, he's blew my
crafty
mind.
about that.
Yeah.
Dude, super crazy.
That's why we call him the professor.
All right. Well, I'm Ed.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm John,
I'm Raul.
I'm still a little crunchy.
and these are the breaks.
They are fucking so rad. Who knows what we're going to see tonight? Who fucking knows?
It'll be fun, whatever it is.
But listen in to find out.
Yeah.
Filmstain.com.
Check us out.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening.
Good evening.